Hi, everyone. Welcome back to my channel where I talk about all things related to change and how to get yourself unstuck and make yourself look more attractive in your career, your business, and your life. Today, I'm going to talk about the 5 simple things you can do to separate yourself in any job interview that other people are not doing. Number one, nail the impression, that first few seconds. Although, the employers have looked at your resume, which, I talked about in other videos, which is a marketing piece, and they'll have an idea of your background. People root for people they like. And again, you want to nail that impression, right? And people notice, and I've talked about impressions in another video as well. People notice those 2 things about you right away: your warmth and your competence, right? So if you can start off and nail those 2 things, that's going to go a long way to starting off on the right foot and building that relationship. Because again, if you are qualified, people root for people who they like, right? And imagine you're competing against 1,000 other people. Only a handful got into the interview, and you're competing against them. And so imagine that they're equally as qualified as you. What are those little things that are going to separate? Well, people want to work with people they like. So it's that impression, nail the impression. The second thing you got to do to nail the interview is offer some sort of value proposition. So, what I mean by that is you want to be able to articulate by doing some prep and research what's your specific value add to the company. So, this comes back to resumes. Resumes are really marketing pieces, not just check boxes, lists of duties, right? They are marketing pieces. So, they're designed to for you to shine, for you to separate yourself from other people. Well, in an interview, you've got to be able to articulate that. You've got to come in with some concrete examples already in your head about things you have done that are going to add value to the company you're going to. If you cannot articulate that and you have not prepared for that in an interview, they're going to pick somebody else who can, right? So what I do is, you look at the job description, you look at a lot, you study it, you know what types of tasks you'll be expected to do, and then you want to go through your memory bank and think of all the experiences you've had professionally and how you've done those things. And you want to have those examples on the tip of your tongue and ready to articulate. And you want to think, again, everything is cause and effect. So you want to think of the examples. What did you do? What was the result? What did you do? And what was the result? And I would recommend having at least 2 examples that are different, ready to go, that reflect exactly what they're looking for. So again, the value proposition is what you are going to add that's going to be unique to you and different than what the other people are saying, right? Number 3, be real, be a person. This comes back to people root for people who they like, right? And if you look at imagine the other people that you're competing against who've gotten to the interview stage. If you've gotten to the interview stage, most employers that's them saying, oh, they're qualified on paper. Let's talk to them and see if they can articulate that qualifications from paper, right? Can they articulate that? So you want to be real, right? They're going to see if you're full of fluff and you use some of that fluff language I've talked about in other videos, the empty phrases. You want to be able to clearly articulate your experience in a way that's confident, but you also want to be a real person, so not a robot, not automatic canned answers, right? So you want to think about questions. I would think about 5 or 6 questions that they may ask and how you'd respond to it, right? Why should I hire you? What sets you apart from other people, right? Why do you want to work for us? Questions like that. And how are you going to answer it differently than other people that's not robotic? You want to be a real person, right? I always say, talk to people like a peer. If you're talking to a VP or a senior manager, You're not going to want to give a whole bunch of just canned answers or talk like a robot or be super, super nervous and be, oh, yeah, yeah, and fumble with your words. You're going to want to talk to them in a way that makes them want to work with you. So you got to be a real person. And a way to do that is to prepare, 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 be able to project that confidence. Like, hey, I'm a peer and I can hang, right? And you can't use, again, those robotic answers. Why do you want to work for us? Oh, because I've seen your track record and, I think I could add value to it. No, don't say that. You want to be specific about what you can bring and add that's different than other people, right? The fourth thing is have a couple questions ready at the end of the interview. If they say, sometimes you won't have questions, but you want to ask questions that make you look better. One question I recommend asking is something like, how would you recommend or look for some advice in the first 30 days on how to be successful and start contributing to the team quick? So how would they recommend the right candidate, which is you, of course, start in the first 30, 60, 90 days? Because what that's showing them is that you are creating those mental maps as if you're already the right candidate, right? You've already got it, right? Without even saying that, right? And you're trying to already create plans for yourself to be successful right away. And that does a couple things. And if you frame it in a way that you're looking for advice from them, people love talking about themselves and their success. So if you presume that they're super successful, I know you've been with the company, you said, for 8 years now, and obviously you've seen a lot of success. And I was kind of wondering, in the first 30, 60 days, is there anything you'd recommend that the right candidate do to really prepare and be successful and learn really quick so they can integrate successfully into the culture, right? So you want to come up with a couple questions like that are going to make it seem that you're already preparing for your success as the right candidate, right? You don't want to just say, oh, no, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. You can also ask questions about timelines, about what the first 30, 60, 90 days might look like, things like that. But you want to get creative and do the research ahead of time. And the fifth thing you can do is follow up. Now, sending a quick note takes 30 seconds. Again, you want to be real, so you don't want to send a robotic, like, it was such a pleasure to meet you, regards, and sign the email that way. But if you can always send a note snail mail, because who gets handwritten thank you notes? That will set yourself apart. But if not, you can also just email them. If you don't have their email, maybe email the recruiter, do some research, and see if you can get their contact information if you can, because not everybody's doing this. And again, this is a way for you to separate yourself from other people. And just a quick note, hey, I just wanted to thank you so much for your time. It was such a pleasure meeting you. And I'm so excited to, be considered. And, I loved learning about the company. Looking forward to chatting again soon. Ryan. So, something like that, where it's remember, you're a real person. It's not a canned, stuffy answer. And, not everyone's sending a thank you out. So, if it's a handwritten thank you note, that's the icing on the cake. So, again, the 5 things you want to do to really nail that interview and separate yourself. Remember, the impression, warmth, and competence. Number 2 is the value proposition. Be able to articulate that. You're going to study the job description and come up with 2 examples that you can use to articulate that value proposition. Number 3 is be real. So no robotic canned answers, even over email. If someone else is saying it, you don't. You're going to shine. It's your time to shine. So be real, act as a peer. Number 4 is have a couple questions ready that really showcase that you've done your homework and are really interested in how to be successful right away. And number 5 is the follow-up. You can nail those things, you'll have a lot better chance of standing out. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Also, leave in the comments any suggestions that you have for future videos. And until next time.